everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. So today we're going to do the first set of alternatives for the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Cozy Christmas. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done them as intended. But we're going to change things up a little bit and get started on our first alternative. So these are going to be 2 pretty easy cards, so it's definitely a hit the easy button day, because you know, some days, especially like today where the temperature is like 9 degrees outside, you need an easy button. So I'm going to start with a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give this a good burnish with my bone folder. I've got a piece for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to turn these this way because our card's going to face this direction. I've got a half of one of the card bases that came in the kit, and this has kind of a textured pattern to it. So that's going to be our first layer. So let's go ahead and get that down. Find some adhesive here. So I'm just going to use some tape runner here to put this first layer on. And we're going to center that up on the front here best that I can. So let's see, that looks pretty good. Okay, so there's our first layer. Now I've got punch out piece that came in the kit, and it's got the letters that say joy, so we need to adhere our letters to this. So let's use some liquid glue for this so that we have a little bit of wiggle room to get these down the way they're supposed to. So let's see, we're going to do just a little bit of liquid glue here, and I'm just going to center this up right there where it belongs. And of course I used too much glue and I have glue everywhere. Not good. Okay, let's try to have a little less glue on this one. So this goes in the middle. And then we'll get our Y down. Okay, so that'll go right here. Okay, so there's our joy. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but on this, these things right here are flocked, so they've kind of got some texture to them. If you touch them, they kind of feel, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's kind of a cool feeling. So on here, so we've got joy. What we're going to do now is we're going to stamp with the stamp that came in the set that says to the world. And I'm going to stamp that in black Memento ink. And I'm going to put it right here at the bottom underneath our joy. So let me ink this up. And we'll make sure we've got a good coverage on our stamp. These little ink pads aren't near as juicy as the big ones, so sometimes you got to work a little harder to get ink on the stamp. So I'm just going to try to maneuver it right down here at the bottom. Hopefully we'll get it straight. Because you know, sometimes my whole world is crooked. At least that's how I feel. Crooked every day. Okay, that's not bad. So we've got joy to the world. That's going to go on the front of our card. On the inside, we're going to use the Merry Christmas that came in the stamp set. So let's ink that up as well. And just trying to make sure that it looks like I've got it all good and covered. So let's line our cardstock up here with one of the lines on the glass mat. And once again, we'll try to get this straight. There we go. Merry Christmas. All right. Put the lid back on the ink for the moment. And let's go ahead and get the rest of this put together. So, like I said, this is going to be a really quick card because the stuff that came in the card kit is basically doing all the work for us. So, that's very nice when it's 10 days before Christmas and you're just trying to get the last few Christmas cards done. And either in the mail or hand delivered or however you're going to, get yours out. So then this can go here and we can, just trying to wipe off that excess glue. I think we should maybe pop this up on some dimensionals. So let's do that. Let's see what we can find here. We're just going to cover the edges here of the piece. And we'll just put a few here in the middle. And maybe that'll be enough to hold it up. Let's see. Let's get the backs off of here. One more. Okay. So let's just center this up on the front of our card. That looks pretty good. So we'll push that down. Okay. Last thing we need is a little bit of bling. For this one, I'm going to use, what did I decide I was going to use for this one? There was some bling that came in the kit, which was these red sequins, but I'm not going to use that on this one because I want to save that for the next card that we're doing, and I don't want to run out. So let's use some of these pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. I'm just going to use these pecan pie colored ones just because I thought it would be, oops, let's get our backings put in the garbage can. I thought it would go with the basic beige color scheme here. So let's just get, oh my goodness, get another one down here and then one more little one. Let's see, somewhere up here possibly. How about right there? Okay, so there's our first card. Like I said, pretty simple, quick to put together, and very effective. Okay, next one. Also going to be a pretty easy card. So we're going to start with a garden green card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We'll give this a good burnish. Got a piece for the inside that's 5 by 4 1/4. Got our gems that we're going to use in a minute. I've got a joy that I cut from the Abundant Joy dies. These were the add-on dies for this quarter, so I used this joy die there for this. And then out of the card kit itself, we've got a star. And we've got this thing that's going to build us a Christmas tree. So it kind of goes together like this. So we can go ahead and get this on here. So let's see. Let's use, I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to use tape runner just because I can see not getting this straight. I am going to move it as far to the left hand side as I can because we're going to put our joy up here in the corner, and we're also going to do some stamping right on the card. So let's, and we have to save room for all of that. So I'm just going to layer this up here. Just like that. Looks pretty good. We'll get our star on up here at the top. Okay, so there's our tree. Now, our joy is going to go here. And then under that, we're once again going to stamp our to the world. So I think it'll fit. Let's see if I can get that on there. So I'll move that out of the way for a moment. Let's ink this up. I'm just going to use this Memento black ink again because I thought it would be the best to show up on this garden green. So let's get it down here, right? And make sure my card base is straight so that I hopefully can end up with this pretty straight. No promises though, right? Okay, so there's our to the world. Now we'll go back and put our joy right up here. So we've got our joy to the world. I'm going to move my star just a hair over. Make sure it's good and centered there, so I have a little extra space for my my little word here. So let's use just a little bit of liquid glue on this, and I will try to keep it light on the glue, which is not always my strong point. As you guys know, I am often crazy with the glue. So I just want to make sure there we go, gets right in the corner up there. Okay, so there's our joy to the world, which doesn't, I guess it's straight. All right. Okay, looks good. Now, let's see. For the inside, again, we're going to do Merry Christmas. So we'll ink this one up. And we'll get this on here. Okay. Get this on the inside. And then some bling and we will be done. So these cards, a lot of times in these kits, do not take very long to put together. So that makes them very nice. Okay, so we're going to use our little red sequins here for, we're going to put some of them just on our, let's see, I'm trying to decide where, maybe, and they almost make it look like ornaments hanging on our tree. I'm just going to use all little ones right here. Oops. Okay, I lost my putty, so I need to get some more out of the end of this. There we go. And now we've got a sequin that doesn't want to leave. It wants to stay here. All right, one more. So we'll put one right there. And that looks pretty good. Very nice. Okay, so here are two cards that we made today. Like I said, very easy. Didn't take long at all. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back tomorrow with Template Tuesday. And we're headed into our home stretch of Christmas cards. Because Christmas is, like I said, in 10 days. So we need to wrap that up so we can move on with our next series, which is going to be all about thank you cards, because once Christmas is over, where's our focus? Our focus is on sending thank you cards. So I hope you all stick around and come back, and I will see you soon. Have a crafty day. Bye.